And a very good evening, everybody, and welcome into another edition of the Hockey Night on Broad Flyers pregame show. Tonight, the Philadelphia Flyers on this Wednesday night get ready for their second game of a back-to-back as they battle the New Jersey Devils as they meet for the third time this season. And a pleasant good evening, everybody. I'm your host, James Scorza, here for the next 15 minutes or so after another astounding win on Monday night as the Flyers took on New Jersey at Wells Fargo Center. Played a full 60 minutes of complete hockey on that very important Monday night, and also seeing the Devils for the last time until March. But the good news is that the Flyers did whatever they could to get back on track after a disappointing road trip between the Rangers and the Islanders on that slate last Thursday and Friday night. But they did whatever they could to get the win, and they try to get back on track here tonight as they look at to try to make it three straight against New Jersey here tonight up at Newark. As we check out the recap of the previous game, like we always do before the games here tonight, but let's check out what happened on that that Monday night edition of the Flyers taking on the Devils at Wells Fargo Center. Inside the first period, it was a lot of fast-paced action between the Flyers and New Jersey on this very important night, but the Flyers on the power play and did not take long to click as Bobby Brink gave the Flyers an early 1-0 lead on a laser shot that could have caught Devils netminder Jake Gallen a little bit funny, but gave the Flyers an early 1-0 lead. But not even 30 seconds later, the Flyers were buzzing once again, as this time it was Joe Farabee getting the goal right there to give the Flyers a 2-0 lead, and just like that, it was 2-0 and would stay that way after 20. As we head into the second period, and the Flyers trying to get a response once again, and they will find it. It was a good response. Just 2 minutes into the period, it was Garnett Hathaway to make it a 3-0 lead for the Orange and Black, and would stay that way towards the approaching of the second period coming to a close. And the Flyers having the good opportunities in that period, but the big story in the period was Sam Ersson standing tall as well, which, by the way, he's now becoming a member of the Four Nations Cup. That's going to happen in the next couple of weeks or so, in replace of the goaltender of the Devils and Jacob Markstrom. But back to the Flyers and Devils action, and the Flyers they were buzzing in the period, but the period coming to a close, and it will be the Devils getting on the board. It was, I believe, it was a shot that saw either a deflection by Sam Harrison or a deflection by one of the defenders behind the net. Well within the net, and I think it bounced off a Flyers skate, and the Devils will get on the board and will keep that way at a 3-1 Flyers lead after 40 minutes in the books. But in the third period, it was a stellar performance once again by Sam Ersson, like I mentioned, and towards the ending parts of regulation, the Devils will cut the deficit to 1, as it was, I believe, Nate Bastian or somebody like that trying to get a goal. Actually, no, it was Timo Meier, getting credit for the goal for the Devils, and they'll cut the deficit to a 1-goal lead for the guys in orange and black. But the Flyers will get an empty netter by Scott Lawton coming back after a family matter last couple games, and it was an empty netter sealing a win for the Flyers this night up in South Philly, and it was the second night of a successful night, as you saw the Eagles go to the Super Bowl that night at Lincoln Financial Field, and right across the street, and also Cooper DeJean, the quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles, was in attendance, and also I can imagine gave the team some good luck along the way, as the Flyers did win that final by a final score of 4-2 that night up at Wells Fargo Center. Setting the stage for this game here tonight between the Flyers and the Devils for the second time and final time until maybe March or around will be the next time they'll be facing off against each other, and it will be the last time they'll be facing off until maybe the postseason if the Flyers do get there. But for the key matchups in this game tonight, the Flyers coming into this game tonight, making sure that the Devils are not playing the best hockey right now. Obviously, you look at what the circumstances happen with the Flyers as of lately against New Jersey, and it's become a real good reminder that the Flyers, especially when there's games that they started to try to play to competition, but the teams are just too good to comfort. But they feel like they got the Devils' number. It's been a long time since I said the Flyers had their Devils' number. The last time I could probably check the Flyers had the Devils' number was probably going back to their relevancy, like going back to 2010, maybe 2011, even 2012, when they lost to in the Eastern Conference, or sorry, the Eastern Conference semifinals in 2012, and then beating them in the 2010, and the first round of the Eastern Conference quarterfinals. But the good news about that too, in 2010, they went all the way to the Stanley Cup final. But the good news about this team too, especially what a team like New Jersey is coming into tonight. The real big story for the Devils is that they haven't won 3 straight games going back to the week of Christmas. So it's like basically they're on the outside looking in, and they're ready to play up to competition here tonight, and also decimated with injuries. The good news is for the Flyers too, is that they finally found their footing against the Devils, and it will probably have some pay dirt along the way as well. But for the Devils is concerned for this matchup here tonight between the Flyers and New Jersey for the first time, or for the second game of a back-to-back. And the second game of not a back-to-back, the second game of a home-and-home, excuse me. They got a back-to-back tonight, and they play the Islanders tomorrow. But after losing goaltender Jacob Markstrom due to an MCL sprain, they also lost their captain this week, and actually lost their captain today, and Nico Hischier, who's going to miss the next few weeks due to an upper body injury. So how these two teams will battle against each other here tonight, it will be a good tall task here. And the good news about it too is that the Devils will be decimated without their captain, and finding out what they have, what the other players along the way, like I mentioned before, like Jack Hughes and even like a Dawson Mercer, and even more so what they're going to look like without their captain, and that's going to miss the next couple of weeks due to that upper body injury. But like I said, it'll be a good tall test for the Flyers to get back on track and also get 2 straight wins against the Devils, and they'll make it 3 straight tonight if they win tonight up in Newark, New Jersey. So like I said, this will be the first of a back-to-back, and the Flyers will be back at it tomorrow night when they take on the New York Islanders. And then it feels like we've been playing these teams like so much as of lately. But I think after tomorrow night, like we can finally put the Metropolitan Division teams to bed not after tonight, actually tomorrow night rather, if they get a win tonight, and also get back on track tomorrow night up at Wells Fargo Center when they take on the Islanders. And that will be a 7:30 puck drop tomorrow night in South Philly. All right, let's check out who's trending up and who's trending down on this night. Well, this is something that I actually saw that it was actually a very good thing that the Flyers are trending up here. And this was according to Bill Metzler, the insider for the Philadelphia Flyers, saying that the latest success that the Flyers have had, obviously, was the power play has been clicking. On my books, that's the one thing that's been big. But that also, like, players like Bobby Brink have been a real big part for the Flyers as of lately. And also Joe Farabee coming back into his own after being benched once in a while, and also seeing him back in action here in this game tonight. The good news about it, too, is that the Flyers, other players that are keep on playing the best hockey as they are, the good news about it, too, is that they keep on trying to play to that standard. And obviously Joe Farabee is a good reminder about that along the way as well. But the good news about that, too, on Monday night in South Philly, and also the big line that's been clicking as of lately, going back to the first meeting that the Flyers took on New Jersey around 2 weeks ago. And it's been clicking as of lately, too, as it is the Bobby Brink, Noah Cates, and Tyson Forster line. And that has been a real good success for the guys in orange and black. And also, I can expect more of the same here tonight. And it's good to know if they can get back to New Jersey and go back on a positive note and do whatever they can to get another win out of it, especially against a depleting Devils team that is still desperately looking for answers. Even though they have Sheldon Keefe as their head coach, it looks to me that even though they're like the second or third seed in the conference, they can start to try to rattle out of control. I don't say we rattle out of control because they have a real big lead, but the good news is, for the Flyers, we won't have to deal with Nico Hischier tonight. But the good news is it'll be good to know what the Flyers would do tonight in this matchup here tonight for the Flyers. And who's trending down on this night? Well, it might be, like, since the Flyers saw Sam Emerson play on Monday night, so this will be the second game of a back-to-back and a home-and-home. it will be Ivan Fedotov. I would be sure will be in goal tonight for the Flyers. The last time he played against the Flyers, if he plays tonight, if I'm not for sure, if it's either him or Sam Ersson. If it's Sam Ersson, then I would say, okay, then I would be like, okay, for sure, it will be a good tall test for the Flyers to get back on track, especially what they're doing. But obviously, if it is Fedotov, he had a really disappointing outing last time up at Belmont, New York, as he gave up 3 unanswered goals to the Islanders that night. But looking to try to get more of a comfortable lead, as the Flyers should do against if they take on Ivan Fedotov is in goal tonight. I would say that they would give him a more comfortable lead and avoid those things, and also avoid those things from occurring, and also play with the same level of intensity that they had in that game on Monday night against New Jersey. So, like I said, I believe it's going to be Fedotov in goal tonight. If it is Ivan Fedotov, I would say a better outing for him than it was for him on, I believe it was, the last outing he played was on Thursday night. I'm sorry, not Thursday night. It was on Friday night up at Belmont, and the Flyers will be playing, like I said, the Islanders once again tomorrow, and it feels like Groundhog Day again as we take on the Islanders once again tomorrow night. But that's going to be another story for another time. But here is our injuries and scratches for this game here tonight for this matchup for the Flyers and the Devils. Same level of injuries that they had the last couple games. This one is actually a good note here. The only thing that has been the upper body, there's only just 3 players out with upper body injuries tonight, and that is Nick Delorier, still out with the upper body injury. Ryan Poehling still not back ever since suffering that concussion around 2 weeks ago. And Yegor Zamula is going to miss his 3rd game tonight due to that upper body injury. And only one scratch tonight for the Flyers. It will be Rodrigo Abduls. I forget his name. Abduls. I think his name is Abduls. Excuse me. Please forgive me if I trouble with these words. I trouble with these players, obviously, who's trying to make a good impact. But like I said, Rodrigo Abduls will not be in the lineup tonight for this matchup here tonight. Here's a healthy scratch, but who is not in the lineup tonight due to the injuries tonight are Delorier, Poehling, and Yegor Zamula. That's going to miss some time tonight for this injury. All right, let's check out our. Hang on a sec. Let's check out our starting goaltender matchup tonight for this Flyers and Devils matchup. As of right now, it looks to me that it will be Sam Ersson in goal tonight once again for the Flyers after a great outing on Monday night against the Devils. So he's back at it here tonight up in North Jersey. And his record is now a 15-8-2 record this season and has a goals against average of 2.77. So I'm pretty sure it will be Ersson in goal tonight for the Flyers. And the same goaltender that was in the lineup on Monday night, it will be Jake Allen yet again. After like I said, Jacob Markstrom missing some time now due to that MCL sprain, so he's going to miss some time. And it will be Jake Allen in goal, who has a record of 7-9-1 this season and has a goals against average of 2.70. As it will be Ersson in goal for the Flyers. If I'm not mistaken, I'll double check before we head out of here. If it is Sam Ersson in goal tonight, I will be sure that it will be Ersson again tonight, and I can see Fedotov will be back in goal tomorrow night for the second game of a back-to-back as they take on the Islanders. But like I said, Ersson in goal tonight for the Flyers and Allen in goal once again for the Devils. So it's the same level matchup as they had the last couple games or so. And for my final score and my predictions in this game tonight, this will be a good matchup that the Flyers could actually say that they actually know a thing or two how to find a way to continue to dominate against New Jersey. And the good news about it, too, New Jersey continues to be depleting on all levels. Like I mentioned, they lost their goaltender and Jacob Markstrom early on in right before the holiday, actually right after the holiday break. And also now they're going to miss their captain for a couple games now. He is now week to week now with that upper body injury, so I can expect him to miss some time. But this will be a good matchup here tonight that the Flyers could have in the bag if they don't have to deal with Nico Hischier here tonight. But the good news about it, too, if they could find a way to get back on track here tonight, this will be a good matchup for the Flyers to get back. They felt like they were good. They were really good a couple nights ago, but the same problem is that sometimes like the Devils will try to look for some revenge here, but at the same time, if they can find a way to keep the Flyers, I'm going to actually keep the Devils from like decimated to look to try to get a response here, that will be a big key more than anything too. So I hope the Flyers will win tonight, and I think they'll be looking forward to what this matchup has in store tonight, and also they'll be back home for another game, and then they ship off to Colorado for a game on Sunday afternoon as they take on the Colorado Avalanche. That is a Sunday rare edition. I'll be back for the Hockey Night on Board Flyers pregame show day edition. That'll be around, I think it's a 3 o'clock game, so I'm trying to figure out when that pregame show will be, but it will be right here on Hardcore Sports Network as well, and tomorrow night as well. All right, that's going to wrap up here for tonight. That's going to wrap up for this Hockey Night on Board Flyers pregame show for the next 15 minutes from the. Thanks a lot for joining me tonight, but I will be back once again for the Third Line Joe and Flyers postgame show immediately after the game goes final with myself and Joey. We got you covered on this night. Immediately after the game goes final. Like I said, I will be back again tomorrow, right back here tomorrow night, and this time will be a 7 o'clock pregame show. Excuse me. It is an ESPN Plus game, so a pregame show starts a little later than usual. It'll be a 7 o'clock pregame show and 7:30 puck drop, and also I'll be joined by Pavel, one good friend of mine over at Stream Punk Entertainment, and Pat Bernard's good friend from Devereaux Sports along the way. He'll be joining me tomorrow night to recap that Flyers Islanders game, and you got the Pass and App Sports Show guys, and the late hours of the night getting you ready for. I'm sorry, again, got you covered for the hockey for the for the Third Line John Flyers post game show, and we will get you covered for that good matchup here tonight as well. All right, that's going to wrap things up for here tonight, and that's going to wrap things up for this pregame show here tonight. Up at, I guess you could say. It's not in South Philly, but up in North Jersey. Remember to stay tuned after the game for the Flyers post-game show right on Stream Punk Entertainment. And I will be back here right back here tomorrow night for another edition of the Hockey Night on Board Flyers pregame show right here on Hardcore Sports Network. And this has been the Hockey Night on Board Flyers pregame shows. And I'm your host, James Scorza, saying thanks for watching. Until then, we will see you back here tomorrow night. Enjoy the game and stay warm.